And we're here. Welcome to another episode of a few TSU sports fans. We do have a winning episode. Uh, we got today Demetrius.
What's up, Big Blue?
We got TSU Madness beat Lindenwood.
Let's go, Roaring Tigers.
Yeah, yeah. Before we get to football, though, we had two games this last week. Weather, old age, whatever. We couldn't meet last week. But we're here. We're here this week. Get the ball rolling. Um, we'll also want to talk about our men's tennis team.
Mm-hmm.
They are the HBCU national champs again, second year in a row. We're down to Atlanta. Turf or grass. We all gonna kick that. You know what? So congrats to you, man. Then further along with the TSU tennis team, they went on and they won a couple of titles at the Horizon League.
Mm-hmm.
We had Taj Hibbert was the most outstanding performer, and he won the singles. We also step back a little bit. OVC and the Horizon League are combining forces, just like Big South OVC. So it's Horizon League. They're hosting us for all our teams, and OVC are in their league. So,
you must have read my mind. I was getting ready to ask that.
Yeah, so that's sort of what's going on. Because they have more teams than us, so this Horizon League.
Right. We didn't have enough. We didn't have enough teams in OVC.
Let me not go there. Okay. So we're in their league. So Taj Hibbert won. Congratulations to him. And also our doubles team with Hibbert and
Loopster.
Yeah, Loopster. Yeah, they won the doubles, and so both of those athletes will be going well. Both two athletes, one playing the singles, and the doubles team playing in the NCAA tournament coming up soon. They qualified for it. So,
and Taj, real quick about
kudos
Taj.
to them.
Real quick about Taj. Taj is from Australia. He's coming over here playing for TSU, and Rohan is from South Africa, and they team up together, play 1 and 2, and they did well in that doubles tournament. So congrats to them. That's a big shout out, man.
So kudos to them.
Yeah.
Madness, you played a little tennis too. We gotta get you to
reminisce
one day. Take us down memory lane.
Take it down memory lane. With the
you see that shirt,
1992 tennis team represent. Shoot, man, went to TSU and did it all, player.
Hey,
real quick, that's what I could say about, especially back then, man. At small colleges, at black colleges, man, you could if you had some talent, at least even a little bit, there's an opportunity for you, right? And I just took advantage of it. Coach Gerald Robinson asked me if I knew anything about tennis, and I told him, yeah. He said, come down and, I need a couple of spots, because a tennis team usually carries 6 guys, and he was too short. So I went out there, man, and tried out. May got that 6th spot. So that's what you do. Love your HBCU.
Also, we interviewed Rob Hooper. Also, too, we shout out to Rob Hooper. He was on the show a couple of weeks ago. He won the Michael Pretorius Invitational last week, a few days ago, rather. And so, shout out to him for the compliment. So we see him moving up and doing his thing. Go Big Blue.
Yeah, go Big Blue to Hooper. That dude is awesome, man.
Y'all know he was special guest on the show.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
We saw his talent before, you know.
Yeah. So you can check him out on all social media platforms. He is there, um, sharing his working out, whether it be his local running, whatever. But he's there, um, and he's doing pretty viral. Has a nice voice on there. Um, so let's get into some football.
Let's do it.
So basketball season is loading. They had his first practice this week. We're looking forward to seeing men's roster is out. They all registered to vote. Then eventually we'll see the women's roster, and then we'll sort of get to going. So we look forward to seeing that. Both schedules are up. We'll talk about more in detail later on.
Yeah, we'll talk about that schedule next week that they drop.
Yeah, later. Yeah. So later on. So we'll get to that. I worried about you guys. Okay. Now we were just out last week. Weather, stuff like that. So we just took a break last week. We had two games. We missed the Tennessee Tech game, and we had this game. For me, glad we won that last weekend. To me, these two games sort of mirrored each other, really, in terms of just inconsistent blocking. We did give up a lot on defense. But not enough to like fold over, right? So we did give up possessions. We lost really in both games. Both teams had the ball more than us. Grind the clock out a little bit, but sort of bend or break kind of defense. Offense, we working our blocking, man. I think that that's still sort of an issue. I did hear Chris Saunders say this past game that some of the sacks were on Ellis for holding the ball too long in some cases. So the 7 sacks we had against Tennessee Tech, which pretty much cost us the game, honestly. Some of that was on him. He made some decisions holding the ball too long. Maybe it's people open, whatever. So that timing, needs to be working on. O-line blocking, still a concern.
It's a huge concern.
Being consistent. Yeah. I just don't, we can't throw the ball 60, 70 times a game, right? And that's sort of what we're sort of resulting in having to do because we're not getting what's that again? I lost train of thought. But yeah, just sort of like inconsistent blocking, not doing it every time. We did rush more both games, but still not quite right. Still people sliding in. So we got a lot to work through still with that. Let me go over the stats with Tennessee Tech. We did lose 24-14. But since they sort of mirror image each other, I'm not going to spend too much time with Tennessee Tech. I just think they're sort of the same game. But this individual for Tennessee Tech game, he did throw 246. Ellis did 22 completion, 39 attempts, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. The 1 interception was costly. Pretty much gave the game. We were driving, turned the ball over at the end. Rushing 6 for 17. Gant 3 for 12. She's at Evans had 6 for 17. Gant had 3 for 12. Everybody else didn't really do that much. Ellis had 11 for 20. Him just running around. He was just sort of running around. So
how many rushing yards we have?
For that game, 55. Yeah, 55. That was it for the Tennessee Tech game. 55.
So we got that in the second
um,
half.
I mean, that's sort of where we are right now. Yeah. Um, Karate had 9 receptions for 99 yards.
He showed up.
Bryant had a 441. Yeah. Gerard Bullock, 2 for 32. Jalen Dean, 2 for 31, and he had a touchdown. I know he's happy to get that touchdown in against his former team. I wish he would have pulled it out, but it happens. Um, but yeah, then we had a pick six, um, taken back. So we scored one time, we had a pick six, and that was by Boogie Trotter, correct?
Yes.
Boogie Trotter, I believe. Yeah. Boogie Trotter. Yep. So defensive stats, real quick. Nelson Amar had total linebacker 8 tackles. Jalen Bell 7. Saunders Ellis 7. He's a monster. True freshman out there balling. Tyler Jones, another true freshman, 7 tackles. Deion Billers 5. Boogie Charter 4, and also the pick 6. Cameron Bullock 3. Eric George 3. Tyler Moore 2. Actually, Tyler Moore is a freshman. Tyler Jones, I think, is. Let me make sure. Tyler Moore. Yeah, Tyler Jones is the safety. Yeah, Tyler Moore is a freshman. So Tyler Moore, we can save him for next game because he helped us out. So that's sort of some of the top end right there. Mr. Field Goal, Tennessee Tech. So James Lowry still seems to be shaky. We had a drop punt again, but it was just sort of one play away, really.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I will say, we went down the last time we had the ball for interception. He brought in all 3 tail running backs. Hold on, got internet issues. Okay, I'm good. Everybody, yeah, I'm good. Okay. Everybody else on here?
Yeah, you're just going in now a little bit.
Technical difficulty. I'm just making sure I got technical difficulties on what the thing go. But one play they did run towards the end, 3 running backs set, and they were in a pistol. So they had 1 running back to the left, 1 to the right, 2 wide receivers out, and then they did like a run RPO kind of fake action, and then CJ Evans went out for a pass, wide open, threw the ball. Unfortunately, when our man Austin Lyman was downfield and they called a penalty. He's about a yard off, but you on the road, right? You on the road. But that we were in the goal line, probably punched it in. But that's how sometimes it happens. We on the road, you don't get all the calls.
Mm-hmm.
But it shouldn't have came down to this one play anyway, But because almost every game we did an RPO run pass and this has been called back, right? So it's still timing, new offense, not reading properly, and so we got a lot of work on with that. So we just got to really figure it out. I mean, on the opposite side of the football, hung tough. Getting down 14-0 Tennessee Tech. They did to get up on us. Fought back hard. Defense settled down, like I said before. I think DBs are doing better. I would say they're not necessarily getting beat deep like that, but as they were before. So they seem to be understanding to stay home. You get a good front line. There's no reason to really take too many risks because eventually that quarterback's going to run and run back. It's going to be in disarray. You have to like throw up a ball or something like that. So you wait, be patient. You can make that play on the ball. So I think that's something they did sort of do even this current game too as well. But I mean, blocking, man, you can't get beat. And a lot of it, I mean, honestly, it's from the guards position. And like I mentioned before last week, I'm not gonna bring my same. Yes, I will. Last week, in terms of just Our that weak side linebacker, again, I mean, the same exact stuff. He's getting in on us, um, and really affecting our plays. So they got to figure out how they're going to deal with that. Really, because somebody if they not blitz if they pull a guard or tackle, the linebacker come right in that spot and following that guard and just blowing the play up. So someone that's not getting pushed on the line, someone that misblocks, maybe it's miscommunication with the quarterback, and so we really got to really hunker down on that and figure out what's the best route. I do think that. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say that what I'm seeing from the offensive line, and again, you know about more about this than I do, but it was pretty obvious in this last game with Charleston Southern that like our offensive linemen were several plays. I saw them double another, one defensive lineman. They doubled him, but yeah, another one came straight through untouched. It's like they read it wrong, right? I guess the goal was to, hey, stop this guy, but another one just came right through, right next to him. So it was so I I don't know anything about that strategy, but those are just huge misses.
Yeah, doubling is really supposed to like get that push. And so one thing I would say, let's switch to Charles Southern game now, because again, to me they're essentially the same game. We won one, we lost the other one. Essentially the same as that game. Except it was rain. Charles Southern rain, but still the same. Problems. Luckily our defense held them to 3 field goals right after another drop punt. This is a fumbled kickoff return. We should have been going to the halftime 7-3, not 7-6. Was giving people momentum away. So luckily our defense did hold them to 3 field goals. That's really the difference from Tennessee Tech game to this game. It's 3 field goals to.
I'm going to say this about
touchdowns.
I'm going to say this about defense. So, can I say this about defense real quick? That against Tennessee Tech, going back to Tennessee Tech, the first quarter, the defense played about as bad as you could play. The first quarter, Tennessee Tech. After that, since that time, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter, and now this Charleston Southern game, they played well. I mean, they've given up, only 9 points. Right? I think I'm not sure.
Touchdowns in 7 quarters.
Right. So the defense have done well. It's our offense that hasn't risen to the challenge, and I think a lot of that is because of the offensive line.
Yeah. One thing, was the defense this game is that they did. Charleston Southern did hold the ball too long. I thought a couple of, you get 3 and out, you get 3 and out, right? So I think that one thing, shorter drives. They get for 1 first down, 2 first downs, but they had 3 or 4. So that's like a slight. At the end of the day, they gave up 9 points. If you give up 9 points, you're supposed to win the game, right? So you had a couple opportunities. That short field right there, they could have scored a touchdown, and they turned to a 3 off the points off the fumble kickoff return. So you got it. You're talking about the tackle coach. He's at
talking about Shock in the.
He's coaching in DC now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Russ in Frill. He's over here. He coaches professionally now for the pro team. I can't remember the name right. The name escapes me right now, but it's the DC.
Defenders.
Coach Shannon is there too. Shannon Harris is there as a QB coach, I think, and then actually our offensive coordinator too. He's there too. Kais, he's there too as well. But a lot of work. I mean, I would say that looking at this game, the past games with the offensive line, they are trying to make the blocking schemes. I agree. There's a lot lack of play action because they do RPO first. So I'm looking at Shot's comment that this offensive coordinator prefers RPO kind of action, which is getting us in trouble because people are off the line. Isn't really securing the block, and then they want to run downfield.
Yep.
So I do agree. They should just do play action, go back to simple, and say you all just stay home and block the guy in front of you for once before you run downfield. The guy in front of you, block him. So they did simplify the blocking schemes a little bit. They may pull one guard or one tackle. They're not doing double pulls anymore, and actually doing step left, step right, more zone kind of runs. And that's what we scored on last play of the game, was a zone kind of run. So we are getting some push, rushing the ball a little bit more, but still sort of minimal, right? Still not where you want it. So sort of a lot to do. Also, too, like, some teams are going back to under center, right? I mean, it's like to run the ball. They're just saying, you know what? Michigan did it last year. Michigan was like, oh, they won championship last year. They were old school. They said, we get underneath the center. We're going to go call the plays in from the sideline. Really old school. Also, you got somebody you paid to go scout too. But anyway, they were old school. Michigan was old school last year. So I mean, it's a lot of things they need to do. But the last drive, so let me read the stats off. I'm getting a little sort of ahead of myself here. Charleston Southern. Let me get this team stats. They had 17 first downs. We had 11. So rushing yards, they had 219. We had 101. We had 262 yards gained. We had 104 yards gained on rushing. So we kept them in the back a couple times. We tackled them. We had some tackle for loss there. Passing, it was 90 yards passing for them, 105 for us. Total offense, they had 309. To us, we had 206. So that's pretty much what it was, right? We held them 3 field goals. That's sort of what's the difference in the game. We did have a nice drive coming out, I think, to score our first touchdown when the rain was not so much. But when it rained, it poured on our offense. A lot of 3 and outs, a lot of miscommunication. Else was rushed a couple times out there. But I said earlier about defense getting on the field earlier, but when you're out there so long, you're getting tired, right? So it's hard to get somebody out 3 and out because you want 3 and out, you want as many as you can, but we got to play more minutes out there. That's what it affects you too as well.
Let me ask this question though. Like you said, they were out there so long, but why didn't they try different things? Because Charleston Southern, out of a 60-minute game, Charleston Southern had the ball for 41 minutes. They had the ball and had possession 41 minutes. We stayed in a defense. We had 4 up front and 3 linebackers, but we were off the ball. Like, it's not like we challenged them. I mean, let me run this down real quick, man. This is Charleston Southern. All right, they were 4-7 last year, 1-2 coming into this game this year. They haven't had a winning season since 2019. And they were playing with a 3rd-string quarterback, right? And they told you very, very early in the game that they were only going to run the ball. I think he only threw it, one time? He only threw it one time or 2 times in the first half. Why did we try to get especially the second half when we were struggling? Why didn't we try to get the ball, force them to try to throw the ball when it was obvious he was scared to throw the ball, or they didn't want him to throw the ball because he only threw it 12 times total and only made 4 completions. So why didn't the defense challenge him more? Because they challenged us. Yeah. Their defense challenged us. So that's that's a question I have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Riley, I'll jump in. I think I think Manus, you're spot on, and I think Shock is dropping some gems in his chat line if you ain't paying attention.
No, I know. No, he is. Yeah, so we're watching the chat line, and this Shock is on it.
Yeah, they on it, and I think as well as our defensive line is playing, I think they are missing that I think they are missing that pass rush, right? And I think this game was a little bit different just because of the rain. But man, if you're spot on, like as good as the D is playing, they are spending stat wise. We haven't had a touchdown in 7 quarters. We haven't, right? All that stuff. I mean, that's great. But time of possession, 41-19. That tells me they're not getting off the field.
Mm-mm.
They're not.
Mm-mm.
They're not getting off the field, and I think fatigue is setting in, and it's something that's real. It's concerning to me,
Yeah.
right? It's concerning, and I think I'm not being a dead horse here, but I think offensively that we're not really playing complementary football to give that D rest,
Right.
right? To give Eric and Jalen, 10 minutes of extra rest so that they can be a little bit more fresher, so they can, get out there and give it what they got. But also, who was the leading tackler last game or the last 2 games? I think you said
It was Ellis. It was Ellis.
Ellis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Freshman.
Ellis, freshman, right? So again, Madness, I think you and I kind of fit in the same boat. I'm a Madden Hall of Famer, right? that's that's the video game, But let's talk about reality. If your linebackers or your best tacklers, right, they get the most tackles in the game, is that indicative that the D line is not getting enough penetration, or is the opponent getting past the D line and the linebackers are making stops? Again, maybe Rodney, you can help us with that, but I think our inability at crucial times of the game to get off the field, I think that's hurting us.
Yeah, so generally your linebackers are your leading tackle. Think of Mike Singletary. You got your Ravens. What's his name? Ray Lewis. So generally your linebacker is your leading tackle. But I look at the numbers right now. Yeah, you had Ahmed Nelson with 11. Saunders Ellis had 11. He's co-freshman player of the week. Yeah, Villers who had 7. Chris Walker, he's decent end. He had 7 tackles. Boogie Trotter had 6. You had Tyler Jones. He's a safety. Played 6. You had Eric George had 6. Then you had Keandre Booker had 4. Jalen McClendon had 4 too as well. Blake Locke, Cameron, another D lineman, had 3. I mean, so they were around. I mean, but one thing I would say on defensive side of the ball, we could work on our D tackles a little bit. It's so you see Eric playing a little more D tackle in the sets, because the first 2 we had, we just need more. We're just not that much depth there. So versus somebody you want Eric on the edge a little more, you put him on the inside just to get more pressure. But yeah, they were definitely an option-based team. So you got your linebacker. He's going to take the fullback generally. Then the quarter, or actually, it's been on the set. So sometimes your quarterback will. Sometimes your linebackers are responsible for the quarterback. Then you try to get your decent end responsible for the dive, the handoff. If there's a pitch, man, you may switch it up a little bit, but depending on the keys, I don't know how they generally do it. Sometimes if it's a pitch or it's for option, generally they might bring a safety up, and that's Tyler Jones or something like that, or Boogie Trotter will come up and make that tackle for you. So yeah, this is a very unique situation there. But we have our D tackles who have been so most of the year as a unit, that can wear on you a little bit. So then you have to move Eric inside a little more than what you want to. You got Jalen Bell, you got to rotate him out. So I think they're just trying to find more minutes. And also, we got another transfer who hasn't played all year. From the UT transfer who hasn't played all year.
Who's that?
Sure they probably want it in there. But so that's sort of a situation there that we had. So
who hadn't played? Who's the transfer that hadn't played?
Lombard's playing really well. Now, one thing I would say is that, go ahead.
Who's the linebacker that hadn't? Who's the transfer that hadn't played?
His number is 55. I think he may have gotten injured.
I'll look
He
it
hasn't
up. Go ahead.
played all season. Yeah. So 55. I think his number is 55. He's a D tackle. Came from UT as well. So probably another person will put into that rotation. So now you have to move Eric down to sort of compensate for that.
Yeah.
So yeah, because we had him, you had 4 rotational players, but now you only got 3 really. So now you bring him down to do that. But so yeah, I mean that's something that's sort of there. But yeah, they definitely got to get up the field more. But also too, again, we got the offense got to help them out. And I don't know what you do to fix it. I do think that simpler blocking schemes worked. I was talking through at the end of the game, and we hopped to the end of it really of the Charleston Southern game. Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's a dog. They sort of gave us a touchdown, right? I'm sort of shocked how they played us. It was raining. Like I mentioned, it was wet. It was raining. So I do think that this game is a little bit different. We'd be a little more positive with the game if we could throw the ball, right? We could not run the ball that well. We've been struggling all year. But all the potential rain is off and on. We couldn't get the passes, that we would like to. Had some drop passes, and it was so difficult for our offense. So Ellis really couldn't really shine like he really could. So we had to run the ball a lot more. But I will give them credit for the last drive, 2-minute drill, that they actually finally blocked. So it's like you finally took the whole game in the quarter, but they had some consistent blocking, 3 plays in a row. They blocked, they picked in the keys. Since I love let me share my screen again. All right. They closed my stuff. All right, here we go. Share my screen. I know y'all love me doing this. I know y'all love it. Y'all love it.
Love it so much.
All right. This is final. This is pretty much the final. This is the final series, pretty much of the game, right? Everybody see this?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So they played. You see it?
Mm-hmm.
Yes or no?
Yeah.
You got it?
Yeah.
All right. So they pretty much played 3 down linemen on our 5. We had 6. We had 5 linemen, tight end, 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left, running back, Ellis, right? This is pretty much the last 4 or 5 plays, right? So this guy right here, he would sometimes play around this defender. He say, I'm gonna go right here, linebacker. Nah, I'm gonna go over here and play defense, right? So the final play of the game when Gant ran that touchdown, first he was like back here trying to play pass. Then he finally walked up here, right? Then we hiked the ball. So what's supposed to happen now? These 2 guys did sort of like a stunt. They might use more over here, and then he tried to charge here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm missing a man.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. We're not missing them anymore. There we go.
It's a Dunbar education.
Hold on now. First, I went to Meadowdale. First of all. All right. So you hate. All right. So these guys off the ball shot down, right? So then our offensive guys all did one thing simple. They said step left. So this guy, he went left. This guy, he went left. Left. This guy, he went left. So we pretty much outnumbered them on their shift adjustment, and I don't know why they did this. To be totally honest here, hey, sometimes you just get lucky, right? We also had a pass interference on that play that got them there, and whatever. Sometimes you get lucky. So
yeah, we got lucky.
Yeah, so you get lucky. So all our guys sort of step down block this way. So we pretty much caught their line shift. And so this guy, he did make it past the center, which shouldn't happen, but it happened. And then this guy, our guard right here, I think number 56, I think it was, took him on a nice little ride. He took him to Dollywood and pushed his load behind way over here. He took him to Dollywood and said, "Get on the ride." Right? He way over there. He out to play. And this is what opened it up. So now everybody else is there. Now this center, this is the center right here. He goes to the linebacker. He seals him. This guy had a good block too. And again, everybody's moving over here. I mean, everybody just chugging over here. And then Gann gets the ball back here. You see the back of his butt. You see the hole. And then he just gets down here and touchdown. That's sort of what happened. So, hey, you play stupid games, you give up touchdowns. So they did 3 linemen set on this play. We did do a lot of passing, even though it was really wet. So I think they were trying to cover our passes just in case someone caught the ball and popped open. But it's all runs. First run was an Ellis run. I think he took it off the edge. I think we had a penalty or something, incomplete pass. We gave about Evans twice on this run. We gave on that drive. We gave the ball twice to Gant, and then that's sort of the end result right there. So, that was it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think what you just said was it was balanced. It was balanced, right?
Yeah.
We ran the ball. Yeah. We passed the ball, and as much as we've been critical, let's be honest, we've been in similar situations like this, and the show has been totally different. We're talking about a loss. So I am going to give the team credit for actually closing the game out. So regardless of the misfortunes from Charleston Southern, will you say, Rodney, you play stupid games? What, like, I am.
You give up touchdowns.
We took advantage of that because we should have taken advantage of it, we didn't. So I'm gonna give them credit in that last 2 minutes when it was needed, because last week against Tech, when it was needed, we threw a pick 6. Ellis almost threw a pick this last game. So, this boy got to stop throwing off the back of his, like, that one play when he was going like, come on, man. Like, we got to get better at that. So, but they closed it, and I'm on the Lindenwood.
Yeah, me too. I want to feel optimistic. I want to be optimistic, but I honestly, like, there were our successes last week were on polar ends of the game, right? One on the very beginning, like we scored like on our second drive of the game, and then we scored on our last drive of the game. But in between that, didn't look good. Didn't look good at all. And you sitting there just watching that, it's hard to watch. And so I'm looking at and again, Charleston Southern, I think they did beat Furman if I'm not mistaken. So that's something to like, okay, that's big. But again, it's Charleston Southern. We haven't gotten to the meat of the OVC or in the Big Valley, whatever you call it. We haven't gotten to the meat of it yet, right? The Eastern Illinois, which Lindenwood beat, and then UT Martin and Gardner Webb and SEMO. So it kind of scares me, right? Because, man, everyone's trying our defense. Just like even Charleston Southern on fourth, they went for it on 4th down, and they tried us.
Yeah.
And then everybody's blowing by our offensive line, man, like it's melted butter. So I mean, that's something to be concerned about. But I'm with you. I'm on the Lindenwood, and I'm optimistic. But I got to say, it's a struggle.
Yeah, and so talking about Lindenwood, they've had up and downs as well. Yeah, Furman is way down. They were ranked beginning of the year, and we sort of see some true colors came out. When starting with losing to Charleston Southern, but they did beat another team that was supposed to be a little bit better. So they sort of up and down. But yeah, but they're not as good as they were last year, for sure. Um, Lindenwood, they were down 17-0. EIU got to run away with it. And then same as that stuff, that we sort of went through, right? I mean, it's a certain extent, they came back 28-25 and beat them. Give up a lot of yards in the 2nd half because it's two halves. Nothing, 17-0 first half. And then they came back and scored 28 unanswered and sealed the game. So, but they have a couple of good running backs as well. We're trying to pound the ball. Looking at the stats real quick. Let me look at the team stats right here. But they had 170 yards rushing, 283 passing. And a lot of that action was off of just runs, right? They do a couple of RPO kind of stuff where they're faking a run. They get you to bite, and then they throw it over your head. And they do have a good 6'6" receiver. He did score last year against us. We beat him.
He's tough
last year. Yeah, he's good. So I mean, I think this. So to me, it's like the quarterback about the same as Charleston Southern. I mean, the only thing is that as a third string, this is the first string, but I don't think that they're that much different in talent, to be honest. Charleston had one really good wide receiver, but luckily it rained. But Lindenwood has one really good wide receiver, and Caldwell, he's a player. He's a player. So we really got to keep on him. And they did, you like pass interference on him 3 times. Like in the say, it was like 3. They had like 3 pass interference calls against him. So they really they weren't prepared to check him. They just kept grabbing him, and that's what got that momentum going. But same kind of sets, that we run, same kind of philosophy as Charleston Southern. So we've seen it, right? I mean, it's nothing like we're not prepared for. We haven't seen before. But so we're gonna see how we can really compete against them. But they don't give up. And that's one thing too. They fought too as well. Come back in that game and to put away at EIU after a very big lead that they gave up. So what do you mean by?
Say it again, Rodney. You went out. We having trouble tonight, aren't we?
I was trying to see whether or not did you mean the East? Yeah, I was trying to see whether or not Shock was saying that Lindenwood beat EIU last year. Maybe they did. I don't know. I was gonna check it out.
No, I know Lindenwood beat Western Illinois. I think. I don't think they beat Eastern, but you know what? That's I'm gonna look it up. Yeah. Go ahead, Rodney. I'll look it up.
What did Oh yeah, so last year they lost to 16-10, so it was a close game. So they played EIU very well. That's sort of what I think he was saying. So EIU was ranked last year and beat them by to keep the game at least close. This year they finally beat them. But
yeah, Shock. I think you're right. I think it's gonna be I'm sorry, I was answering Shock. I think there's a lot of people going to be at the game. A lot of TSU folks. I think it's good.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
It's at 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock their time.
Oh, I did want to shout.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, and I did want to shout out decent back rather Tyler Jones. Last part of the game. Remember, we scored a touchdown. We went for 2. We didn't talk about that. Don't know why we went for 2.
Oh, we had 15-9. We had to.
No.
It been 15. It wouldn't matter. It was 15-9, 14-9 versus 15-9. Because if
it's
right.
Well, but that's what I'm saying. If it's 15-9, then that. But if they would have just scored a touchdown, the game was over. So I think you had to go for the 2.
I think McGowan made 3 field goals. He made an extra point.
Right.
I mean, I don't. Yeah.
But okay, make him make a 4th one. It's raining.
Yeah.
I mean, you see what I'm saying? Like I hear your point, but you got to think about it from that standpoint. If you just go for the one, and if they score, game's over.
But they seem like they weren't even ready for that, though.
So,
whatever that was, that seemed like it was like
actually, because Ellis would have hiked the ball when they first started shifting.
The play was just dumb.
He'd have scored easily. It's like so they waited for them to shift and adjust. And it was like, then they almost, because really what could have happened too was that they intercepted the ball. He could have turned it back for 2 points, been 13-11, and they could have got an extra field goal in, 30, 40-yard field goal, and it's a bad pay call too. So like, it's a couple of things going on here. It's a bad play call, also for 2-point conversion as well.
Right.
And also like a bad time to experiment.
The call was bad.
It's like they didn't even practice it. It doesn't look like to me. But
they drew it up in the dirt.
I want to shout out. Let's go back to the last drive. We get the ball. They got a couple plays in, and then they did this thing where they passed the ball and the guy shuffled it, right? And to me, he looked open, like that's touchdown, right? But Tyler Jones, the defensive back, was right there waiting on him, and then sort of made the tackle. The guy fell down, tried to throw the ball up, and then McClendon got the fumble. Well, I guess it was illegal. I don't know if it's a fumble recovery or not for him, but yeah, it is Eddie's job to say kick it. McClendon made the stop. I guess whatever happened, the last play he made the stop. But Tyler Jones, he was present. The guy didn't have an open field, open lane to run the ball to touchdown. So I think that was a good job for him to just be there and be present, so that they didn't get that. They throw that ball around the field, and you don't know what's going to happen, right? But yeah, that last, again, it's just like the end of the second half with the fumble, kick return. You do an extra. You try to go for 2, and you make a really bad play, and they get an interception, and you just give them momentum they don't need, right? I mean, you got to if you execute it. But if you give them a chance, say, okay, now we can make it, and so that was sort of it. But hey, a win's a win. I think that to me, the games sort of married each other, but we made one more play than the other team. The other game, Tennessee Tech, we did not make the play, but our offensive line had a lot of questions that need to be answered. Go into it. I would say that the line did block better, I think, in certain spots, because they got rid of all the pulling tackles and guards. I think they sort of simplified that, but still a long way to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, agreed.
Lindenwood predictions.
We win.
Any Lindenwood predictions? We win. What's the weather like?
Yeah, I'm going 17-7, Big Blue.
No, we're getting the 20s. I think we're getting the
24-14. 24-14. We'll get it in there. That kid will score a touchdown. Caldwell. He'll get some good pass receptions on us. He's good. Might get a touchdown or 2 on us too as well. But I think we'll do just enough to get out of Lindenwood and get on down to homecoming. So
this is an important stretch for us.
Yeah.
Again, the goal is 1-0 every week, but for us to win September, this is typically when Eddie has made his money, by winning in October. So this is an important stretch for us. Shock said 28-17.
Yeah, I'm kind of going. I like that. I like that prediction, 28-17. Yeah, I can't give a number on it, but I think we're getting a 20s, and we'll win this one. We'll pull it out. But like you said, it's an important stretch. Because after Eastern, it gets much harder. So we got to.
E.T. Martin and SEMO coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Up too. We got hopefully when we caught up in the shine of DC, come back and focus and get ready. So
there you go.
This is the meet. Yep.
Just want to say shout out to the men's tennis team again. Congratulations to Robert Hooper as well for the cross country team. Continue to do your thing, fellas. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Go Big Blue.
Go Big Blue.
Go Big Blue.